let us get everything percolating here. Bring it up on our phones. I know we had a few people waiting. How y'all doing? There it is right there. Turn my volume down. There we go.
Here we are.
We got some questions. If y'all got any questions in the live feed, let us know. And it worked good last week. If you're watching the replay of this and you don't mind, type in replay. It helps us keep up with, like, when I look at it in a week or so, if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay. And it seems like last week it was about 30% live and about 70% replay. So just let us know.
What's going on, Samuel?
We'll get started on our questions.
All right, this one comes in from Dave. He says, I'm a newbie. How do I decrease my draw weight?
Dave, you just loosen up what they call limb bolts. The things that flex, they call those limbs when you drop back, top and bottom of the bow, not the cams, but the fiberglass limbs. There'll be a bolt on either end. You want to do the same to both, and it's according to what bow you got. It can vary from 2.5 pounds to 4 or even a little more pounds per turn, but you definitely want to research the owner's manual, because some bows you can only let out 2 or 3 turns, other bows you can let out like 20 turns. So if that bolt comes out, you're going to be in a world of hurt. But yeah, just loosen those out one turn, and get it wherever you need it. And I would advise potentially taking it to an archery shop so they can kind of tell you exactly what the poundage is and how far you can go with it.
What's going on, Brad McAbee, Dean, Matt? What's happening? All right, next question I've got is from Daryl. How do I change the trigger tension on my B3 wrist release?
Most of them have right behind the trigger itself a tiny little .050 Allen screw, and you barely twist that thing and it'll make it more sensitive or less sensitive. Most of them. The what's the cheaper one? The
Nemesis.
The Nemesis, I don't think has that, but I think the King and all the other claws stuff and all that, they have it.
I know which one is it. I know some of the handhelds might have springs, and then I know the B3 Hawk wrist strap, it has springs also.
Stanley just brought this up. This is our 100th episode. Can y'all believe it? I can't believe it. Almost 2 years ago we started this whole thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Thank you, Stanley. Brandon, don't worry. We'll be having another shoot probably late October is our plan. I'll be posting about it soon. But we had a pretty good turnout.
Let's see. Let me get back to my question. Mark asked, what's your opinion on Ravencroft of Raven crossbows?
We have started working on a lot of them for a couple reasons. One, we make the strings and cables for them. Two, we've got the press extension to put on our easy press, and we're really around here the only people that's got that I know of. And three, I've made a few videos about restringing them, and we've had a few people ship them in. I think we got one now shipped in and 2 locals that were dropped off. But I mean, it's a fast crossbow, but I think people with a Raven, you can't just shoot it over and over and over and over and not restring it. I mean, you're looking at somewhere between, I'm just going to throw out between, according to which model, 1 and 300 shots, and you need to restring it. I mean, it's that few, because it's so much power in such a little bitty crossbow, and the little cables are like 6 and a few inches, 6, it's according to which one, but a little over 6 inches, and they're taking up all that power of that crossbow. So I like them, but you can't just sit out there and shoot them 1,000 times without servicing them.
Yeah, I think a lot. It's one of them that you pretty much, take your shots decided in, and then pretty much maybe just to, with that one you can decock it with the crank.
Yeah.
So you don't actually have to fire it. But it's one of them that you're pretty much going to sight it in and pretty much leave that bad boy alone, except maybe a couple times before season.
And I think some people overthink them. I mean, we've had people call, I left it cocked in my closet for 13 hours and measured this and that. No, just get it restrung, make sure your timing dots are right, shoot it a few times, hunt with it. I'm not saying don't have fun with it, but but it's not meant to shoot 1,000 times.
What's up, Bruce?
Thank you, Muddy Ducks. Can't believe it's been 100 of these things.
Yeah, I know. Let's see, back to my question. Bill asked, do you guys hunt when it's still hot or wait till it cools down?
I think we both start when it's hot,
Mm-hmm.
but I have took a little break before when it stayed hot for like a month after we opened in September.
Yeah.
And then, because when that cool snap hits, then you get that rut going around here and all that. But so yeah, we hunt in the heat, but I have hunted a few times and been like, it's still 90-something degrees. We're gonna chill out for a few weeks type deal.
It's one of them pretty much. The way our weather is down here, I mean, late September, you could have a little cool front come through that might drop it 5-8 degrees and get deer moving.
Yeah.
So it's.
I think this weekend, I mean, it's not, our season hadn't opened up here, but we're supposed to be dropping a few degrees this weekend, so that'll be good. That'll get everybody in the mood.
That's right. Back to my questions. Let's see. Alan wants to know, my bow is slow. How many feet per second do I need for deer hunting?
And there's no exact number. I mean, if you look back to the 80s and 90s and earlier, you know, and even recurve shooters today, you're shooting 160, 170, 180, still killing deer. So it all depends on shot placement and blah, 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 broadhead and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like to see them, you know, if we got to the bare minimum, 200-ish.
Yeah.
But you're not taking into account, you know, if somebody's shooting an 80-pound bow with a 900 grain arrow versus you're just pulling 30 pounds and getting the bare minimum. So I guess we need a little more info.
Dean says he's shooting a True Fire Bulldog single caliper release. How do we feel about single calipers?
I've shot the Little Goose forever, and now I shoot the King. So I like a single.
Yeah, I shot the Little Goose forever, but I've got to where I hunt with a hook style release now, and it's with me it's easier because I don't have to kind of take my eyes off the deer or whatever I'm hunting to make sure I get my release on my D loop. I can just kind of feel that D loop and that hook and just hook her up and ready to go. So
Brad, I hadn't heard any more about Sunday WMA stuff. I'll try to ask John that helps us. He's got a buddy that he goes to church with that's the game warden. I'll see if he can get us any info. Favorite broadhead tune method? Typically, you know, I'll start with a paper tune. I'll go to a walkback tune. That normally eliminates most problems. But then if I have to, I'll whoop out an old bear shaft. And then if I pretty much get to where I can't get nothing to happen, then I'll start trying to get my field point to my broadhead and all that sort of thing. I need to make a video on that. Yeah, Muddy Ducks had a bear. She sent me a picture.
oh Lord.
A bear on the trail cam.
Oh Lord.
Lord.
Let's see here. Brad Adams asked, how do I keep micro diameters in my quiver?
A lot of new quivers will come with multiple grippers, but I remember old school quickie quiver before I took some freaking electrical tape, and when I think it was like Axis Eris came out or something smaller than back then, and I built it up with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's just, if you can, according to what quiver, you can potentially buy another gripper.
Yep.
Or you might have to build it up with like electrical tape, or
You could probably use like lizard skin that you use for, like bow grip tape, something like that. Just something to get in there. You don't want it so tight and snug that it's a pain in the butt, but you want it snug enough to hold them.
yeah.
Let's see here. Next question is, Joseph asked, what's the pros and cons of a large versus small peak?
Well, the bigger the peak, the more light and stuff you're going to see, so it's better for hunting, but at the same time, you get really big and you almost have trouble centering up your pin.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you want to be able to see, but you don't want to have to concentrate and worry about the play you got on your pin, so I love a 3/16 for almost everything. I have shot an 1/8 for 3Ds according to what sight and bow and all that I'm shooting, but I like a 3/16. Sometimes when people come in and want these big 5/16 peeps, I kind of cringe, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say in here we sell by far the most in 3/16, and then behind that's a quarter,
Yep.
and then behind that you either go 1/8 or 5/16. But
All right. Evan asked, what broadhead are y'all testing in the next few, and are we going to try iron wheels?
we got a dead meat, or a mega meat coming up, and then potentially a DRT. I hadn't looked into iron wheel. I know they're expensive, so we may have to take up a collection for some iron wheels. But I'd like to try an iron wheel, but I think I'm gonna try to keep flipping from mechanical to fix. So we'll have a mega meat coming up this coming, I guess, Monday probably, and then we'll have probably a DRT the next week, and then I really hadn't planned past that. We still got a bag of broadheads people sent in I need to go through, and it may turn into like one mega broadhead test with those.
Yeah.
And then maybe when we do about 6 or so, or even 10, maybe we'll have like here's our review of these 10, here's how we'd rank them first to 10th.
Yeah.
Because that Muzzy, the videos that are out so far, the Muzzy was the sharpest and sort of the toughest, I guess. But I want to try. That's probably what I'll do after the DRT is another Grim Reaper, but one of the stainless models, because I want to see if maybe we just had a dud pack, because I could not believe how dull they were.
Yeah.
So we'll probably be Mega Meat, DRT, another Grim Reaper.
Muddy Duck, hopefully those nose buttons will be here tomorrow, if not first of next week. I think we've got to exit this back here in one of the bags.
Yeah, I think we do.
And then the Magnus Black Hornets. Let's see here. Brandon asked, since you guys are into the videos, what's a good starter camera setup for my hunts?
Shoot, I just use my cell phone, to be honest with you. They make all these bow mounts. The bow mounts is good, but you see all the shakiness. I would take my cell phone, get a little camera arm, put the cell phone on the camera arm, because to be honest, of all the camera crap I've bought, which is a lot, believe it or not, we can go into that one day, but the cell phone is going to perform as well as probably somewhere around a $500 to $800 camera, and then you're going to really need to get into some good lenses to make it better, and into some good bodies for low light stuff. But the cell phone is what I would start with on a camera arm. So you already got a cell phone, I'm sure, get you a $60 to $100 camera arm and start with that. That is 100% what I would do.
Yep.
Do we have any glow in the dark D-loop material? I think I'm out, but I will order some if they got it, and get it in next week. I'll look. We might have a little bit, but I hadn't seen it. I hadn't really looked for it.
Adam asked, what's our favorite fiber optic color? For me, it's green, by far the green.
Yeah, I'm a green type of fella. Just shows up better.
Everybody's different. I've had people say they see red better, or
I like, in my 3D deal, I like firing it up blue or purple, but I got the light, and you can change it to 7 different colors, because purple is just random and nothing's purple, but green on your stock stuff.
Yep. Zeke asked, what color strings are most popular? He wants to do something different. Flow green and black and solid flow green is by far the 2 main colors.
Yeah. And then behind that, red and black.
Flow orange and black.
Yeah. And then you maybe a green and brown, or something like that. That's your top 4 or 5. I get so tired of making them same colors.
And then Sam gets in with the last question. Have we tried the Rambo bikes or similar for hunting?
We've tested them at the shows. They set them up. There was like 3 or 4 different bike companies there last time, and they have little ramps and stuff you can test them out on, and they're neat, but they're pricey.
Yeah.
I would be more prone to test one or to buy one if it wasn't several $1,000s. But I hadn't never took one hunting. So
how many you got? Quiet Cat, you got Rambo bikes, you got Batco,
there's a
or
bunch of them
Batco.
now.
I
know
know a ton of them.
Dean Pilgrim had made his own. He ordered some kind of electric motor on Amazon, and he said he built it for what, like $800? I don't remember.
Something like that.
I don't know nothing about all that, but
I don't either.
a little too pricey for me.
Mm-hmm.
One more update. The bow giveaway, we'll probably figure that out next week and maybe announce it on the live or maybe do a separate video. I'm not sure yet, but we've had a lot of submissions, but we're giving away a older PSE bow to somebody in need. So if you know somebody and hadn't emailed us yet, you can email archeryshack@gmail.com. This is not a super adjustable bow the way it is. You're pretty much set on like a 2970. So I've had some people ask about kids and all that. It definitely won't fit a kid. It's going to have to be a grown-up male for this giveaway. And we may do more in the future. I'm going to hit the tripod. My bad. But we're going to look through all the stuff, and if you know somebody that's having a hard time, or maybe somebody that's in the service that just got out and needs a bow or something like that, send us an email, archeryshack@gmail.com, and we'll start looking through those next week.
Brad McAfee asks, what other fletchings do you guys like besides blazers?
We've tried a lot of AAE stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. Honestly, even some of the other boning veins, like the X vein, a lot of them I like because it's the same. I'm just used to fletching so many blazers and used to how they stick and my process of making them work. So about almost any, except for maybe the heat vein, a lot of the other boning veins kind of work the same way. But I've heard a lot of good things about what's the slick vein, not Recon, or is it Recon?
No, you talking about tack veins?
Tack veins.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot of good about tack veins. I've seen them, but I hadn't really messed with them.
Yep. Flex Fletch is another good one out there. They're a little bit more pricier, but
Yeah.
I like them. What's the other one?
The Fletch makes one called a Silent Night 2.0. I was a big fan of it.
Yeah.
I was a big fan.
Let's see, what's the other one I was sitting there thinking? It's Flex Fletch. You said tack. There's one other one I'm trying to think of that I've played with, and I can't remember who it is.
Vein Tech I've messed with a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right, I ain't messed with them in a while. I had some weird sticking issues with them. I tried, cleaning the vein, not cleaning the vein, using their glue. I just never did. I never did use enough of them to get what to do down. But anyway, let's see what we got here.
I seen there it goes.
The Ultraview. I wouldn't mind playing with a few, and I've even considered ordering a few Ultraview items. We don't have any Ultraview stuff in the shop right now, but I thought about ordering a little bit because seems to be a lot of people talking about it. 3 and 4 inch. I know AAE, and of course you can get an X vein anywhere from like an inch and something up to, I think, is it 4 inches
I
or
think
something
it's
like
4 or 5.
that?
Flex. I know the Flex Fletch on the Silent Nights. They've got like a 3 and a 3 1/4, 3 3/4, something like that. So.
But anyway, thanks for tuning in. This is our 100th podcast. Woohoo! We'll get on this bow giveaway here in the next week or so. And I guess we got the broadhead video to probably come out Monday, and our other videos on stuff. And like I say, if you're watching the replay of this, type replay in the comments so we can keep track of how many are watching live versus replay. So thanks for watching. We'll get y'all out of here. We're going to go get some dinner.
Yep.
100 episodes.
See y'all.